Most people are terrible at using AI. And I don't mean they don't know how to use ChatGPT. They open it, type something like, write me an email. AI gives them a mediocre answer. They change 3 words, send it, and think, wow, AI just saved me 5 minutes. That's not 10x productivity. The real advantage comes when you stop treating AI like one chatbot and start treating it like an entire team. Different models for different jobs. AI that actually understands who you are. Prompts that give you exactly what you want. Workflows that turn hours of work into minutes. An AI that doesn't just do your work, it actually makes you work better. So in this video, I'm going to show you the system that I use to get dramatically more out of AI. Number one, stop using one AI model for everything. The first mistake is probably the most common. People pick one AI and use it for absolutely everything. Writing, ChatGPT. Coding, ChatGPT. Images, ChatGPT. But think about how ridiculous this would be in the real world. You wouldn't hire a graphic designer to write your code, and you wouldn't hire a software engineer to make your YouTube thumbnail. Different people are good at different things. AI is the same. I think of AI models like employees. ChatGPT is my generalist. If I'm brainstorming, writing, organizing messy thoughts, analyzing something, or I just need an AI to work through a problem with me, it's usually where I start. Claude is one of my go-tos for coding and working with large amounts of data, text, or documentation. If I'm building something, I'll often bounce between Claude and ChatGPT rather than blindly trusting either one. Then you have other specialized models. For image generation and editing, you might use something like Nano Banana. For deep research, you might use a model or tool specifically designed to search and synthesize information. For video, there are completely different models again. The exact ranking will constantly change. That's actually the important part. Don't be loyal to one AI company. Become loyal to the best tool for the job. I usually keep a mental note that looks something like this. Writing goes to ChatGPT, coding goes to Claude, images goes to Nano Banana, research goes to research-focused tools and models, and video goes to video generation models. And whenever a significantly better model comes out, I update the system. You're not choosing your favorite AI, you're assembling a team. Number two, learn how to actually prompt AI. Even the best model in the world is useless if you give it a terrible instruction. Here's the easiest way to understand prompting. Imagine you hired an incredibly intelligent intern. They're capable of doing almost anything. But on their first day, you walk over and say, make the presentation better. Better how? For who? What's the presentation for? What does better even mean? That's basically how most people talk to AI. The quality of the output heavily depends on the quality of the context and instructions you give it. So instead of saying, write an email asking my professor for an extension, for example, I would say something closer to, write a short email to my professor asking for a 2-day extension on an essay due Friday. I've already completed most of it, but I had 2 major deadlines this week and I don't think I can finish it to the standard I want by Friday. I don't want to make excuses, so keep the email straightforward and take responsibility. Make it polite but not overly formal, and keep it under 120 words. Same AI, completely different instructions. There are a few things I try to give AI whenever they're relevant. Context, what are we doing? The objective, what does success look like? Audience, who is this for? Constraints, what should it do or avoid? And examples, show it what good looks like. And here's one of the biggest upgrades you can make. Don't just tell AI what you want, show it. If you want a certain style, give it examples. If you want a specific output format, give it examples. If you're coding something, show it the existing architecture. AI performs dramatically better when it doesn't have to guess what you're imagining. Number three, make your AI know you. This is probably the biggest difference between casually using AI and integrating it into your life. Your AI should know you. Think about the amount of context that exists inside your head, your goals, your schedule, how you like to write, what you're working on, your strengths, your weaknesses, your preferences, your previous work, and your current projects. AI knows none of this unless you give it this information, so give it as much relevant, non sensitive context as you can. For example, imagine I'm asking AI, help me plan my week. That's almost useless. Now imagine the AI already knows that I have 5 priorities, what my deadlines are, what usually works best, which projects I'm currently working on, roughly how long different tasks take me, and that I don't want more than 3 major tasks in one day. Suddenly, help me plan my week becomes an entirely different prompt. The same applies to writing. If AI has examples of how I write, what phrases I like, how long I like sentences, how formal I want to sound, and who I'm usually writing for, I don't have to explain myself from scratch every single time. You essentially build a personal operating manual for yourself. You can literally create a document called How to Work with Me. Include your relevant preferences in there, your writing style, goal, projects, workflow, and how you like information presented. Then use persistent instructions. Project context or attach the documents when you're working with AI. Don't just dump passwords, banking details, confidential work information, or other sensitive data into random AI tools. The goal isn't to tell AI everything about your life. Stop making it rediscover the same useful context every conversation. Number four, stop using AI one prompt at a time. This is where things really start getting powerful. Most people's workflow is basically this: open AI, ask a question, copy the answer, and close AI. That's basically manual labor. You're just doing it slightly faster. Instead, start thinking in workflows. Let's say I have to write a research paper. Instead of asking AI to just write the paper, I can first break down the process. First, I give it the assignment, rubric, and everything I already know about the topic. Then I use it to help me narrow down my argument and identify the questions I actually need to research. I can use it to organize my research and notes, then build an outline around the strongest evidence. Then I write the first draft and give the draft back to AI. I ask it to find weak arguments, repetition, and places where I haven't supported a claim properly. I rewrite those sections, and finally, I give it the rubric again and ask it to grade my paper as critically as possible before I submit it. That's not one AI task, that's a pipeline. And notice that AI isn't just doing the work, it's helping me at every stage of the process. Once you find yourself repeating the same pipeline over and over again, that's when you look at automating parts of it. Maybe a meeting transcript automatically becomes notes and action items. Maybe information from emails gets categorized and turned into to do lists. Maybe your messy notes automatically get organized into a clean summary. You don't necessarily need some insane 47-step AI automation. Start simple. Look for something you repeatedly do yourself. Which parts of this requires my judgment and which parts am I just mechanically repeating? Keep the judgment. Automate the repetition. That's usually where serious time savings are made. Lastly, use AI to think, not just to create. This is probably the most underrated use of AI. Everyone wants AI to produce things, write this, make this, summarize this, but sometimes the most valuable prompt is, what's wrong with this? Let's say I've written something important. Instead of immediately using it, I can give it to AI and ask it to be extremely critical. I can use it to identify the 5 weakest parts, explain exactly why they're weak, and not rewrite anything until it's explained the problem first. Now, AI isn't replacing my thinking, it's challenging it. Or if I have a business idea, I can ask, assume this business fails within 12 months. Give me the 5 most likely reasons why. If I'm studying, I can say, don't give me the answer. Ask me questions until you identify the gaps in my understanding. If I'm writing an argument, I can say, argue against my position as convincingly as possible. This is incredibly powerful because humans naturally get attached to their own ideas. AI doesn't have that problem. Use one conversation to create, then use another conversation or even another model to attack what you created. Think of it as creator AI and critic AI. Then you can make the final decision. That's a much better system than blindly copying the first answer ChatGPT gives you. The biggest misconception about AI is the advantage comes from having access to it. It doesn't. Almost everybody has access to the same models these days. The advantage comes from how you use them. Use different models for different jobs. Learn how to give AI proper context and instructions. Teach it how you work. Turn repetitive tasks into workflows. Use AI to criticize your thinking instead of just generating things for you. And save the systems that work. Because the goal isn't to have AI do everything for you. The goal is to remove the low value work that takes up your time so you spend more time on things that actually require your attention. And if you can build that system properly, AI stops feeling like a chatbot. It will feel like leverage.